collective stewards and caretakers of these lands and waters in perpetuity, and that they continue to maintain this responsibility to ensure their health and integrity for generations to come. Item 3 is the agenda. I'll take a mover and a seconder that the agenda for the municipal planning / regular council meeting held on September 24th, 2024 be approved. Mover, please. Moved by Councillor Ainsworth, second by Deputy Mayor Stover. Any questions or comments? All in favor? That motion is carried. Item 4 is disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof. Are there any to report? Seeing none, that'll be noted. Going to move on to approval of the previous minutes. And we have minutes from September 10th, and I'll read the resolution that the minutes of the regular council meeting held on September 10th, 2024 be adopted. Can I get a mover and a seconder?
No, the minutes have not been attached, Mayor Lobo.
Have not been attached.
So these would be for the council meeting. Let's get here. So we can just defer that and I'll bring the minutes forward at the next meeting.
Okay. So we'll defer that. Thank you, Mary Catherine, for pointing that out. Business arising from the previous minutes. We'll wait till that one. Move to adjourn to a land division committee of adjustment meeting. It is recommended the council of the township of Alma-Cullivan enact as follows. The council of the township of Alma-Cullivan being a land division committee of adjustments move to a land division committee meeting or adjustment meeting on September 24th, 2024 at 9:33 p.m. a.m. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor O'Neill and seconded by Councillor Booth. Any discussions? All in favor? Motion is carried. So we're going to move. So I'll call this the meeting to order of the Committee of Adjustment, the Land Division Committee meeting at 9:35 p.m. a.m. And I'll confirm that the Secretary Treasurer of the Land Division Committee, Alex Smith, is present, as well as all members of the committee. Territorial land acknowledgement. We respectively acknowledge the Township of Alma-Cullivan is located on the Mississaugan-Ashanindic territory and is the traditional territory of the Mississaugan-Ashanindic. The Township of Alma-Cullivan respectively acknowledges that the Mississaugan Nation are the collective stewards and caretakers of these lands and waters in perpetuity, and that they continue to maintain this responsibility to ensure their health and integrity for generations to come. Item 3 is the agenda, and the resolution reads that the agenda for the Committee of Adjustment Land Division Committee meeting held on September 24th, 2024 be approved. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Deputy Mayor Stover, seconded by Councillor Booth. Any discussion? All in favor? That motion is carried. Are there any disclosure of pecuniary interest for this meeting? Seeing none, that'll be duly noted. And the approval of the minutes. These are the minutes from the Committee of Adjustment, the Land Division meeting held on July 23rd, 2024. It is recommended that the minutes of the Committee of Adjustment / Land Division Committee meeting held on July 23rd, 2024 be approved. Could I get a mover and a seconder? Councillor O'Neill and seconded by Councillor Booth. Any discussion? All in favor of the minutes? That motion is carried. Okay, we're going into applications for consent. And the first application is PLN 2024-59. The applicant for consent is registered with Jill and Mark Kentilworth. Clintworth, I'm sorry. Thank you. So, Ms. Planner, would you care to take us through this application?
Yes, thank you. Good morning to the mayor and members of the Committee of Adjustment Land Division Committee. The purpose of applications AH08 and 09 2024 are to sever two 2.02 hectare parcels of land for the creation of two vacant rural lots from an approximate 29.5 hectare rural property. The subject property is located at 138 Ingham Road, east of Share Point Road. There's a single detached dwelling on the property. The northeast portion of the property is on Rice Lake, west of White Island. It contains unevaluated wetlands throughout the eastern portion of the property. There is flood hazard mapping associated with Rice Lake in the northeast corner of the subject lands. A drumlin with considerable slopes encompasses the majority of the subject lands. There are seasonal dwellings located to the east fronting Rice Lake. The Rice Lake Estate subdivision is located to the north, and residential dwellings are located to the east and north. There are vacant residential lots to the west fronting on Ingham. The proposal does conform with the provincial policy statement, the growth plan, the Northumberland County official plan, and the Township of Alnwick official plan. The subject lands are currently zoned rural, and a rezoning application will be required to address the lot area, which is less than the minimum 5 hectare requirement. The application was circulated to departments and agencies for comment. The Public Works Department indicated that they have no concern with the proposal and noted that entrance permits will be required prior to construction. Lower Trent Conservation had no objections with the application, and detailed comments will be provided to the applicant to inform them of the regulations under the Conservation Authorities Act and Regulation 4124 as it applies to their retained lands. Northumberland County indicated that they had no objection with the proposed severances. They advised that county and provincial policies allow for limited lot creation within rural areas. One residential waste set out could be provided for each parcel. The proposed severed lots are appropriately sized for an on-site sewage system to service future dwellings. A sewage permit will be required for any new dwellings as part of the permit process. Alderville First Nation advised that the proposal will require archaeological assessments. The proposed lots are within proximity to major water bodies and registered archaeological sites. Alderville First Nation expects to be engaged in the archaeological assessment process. Notice of the application was circulated to all registered owners of land within 60 meters of the subject property on September 4th, and signs were posted on the property that same day. No public comments have been received on the application to date. The proposed severed lots are located in a rural portion of the municipality on Ingham Road, a year-round municipally maintained road. Both severed and retained lots are appropriately sized rural residential parcels compatible with the surrounding land uses. The lot sizes proposed are to address the slope of the drumlin on the site. The proposed severed lots do not comply with the minimum lot area for the rural zone and will need to be rezoned. The application complies with the policy set forth in the Township of Alnwick Haldeman official plan and are consistent with the provincial policy statement and the growth plan for the Greater Golden Horseshoe. It is recommended to the committee that the application be approved. Please note there is a typo in the recommendation referring to the Township of Haldeman. The proposal is within the former Township of Alnwick. And the recommendations among the typical standards include the requirement for the archaeological assessment and a rezoning. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Are there any questions from council to our planner? Go ahead, Mike.
Through you, Mayor, I just have one here when it comes to the water conservation. The detailed comments will be provided to the applicant. Is that because 4124 is new and changes have come out for?
It's just to give the applicant information as to how the regulations apply to the lands that they are keeping. It doesn't have as much to do with the new regulatory changes. It's just to inform them of what regulations do apply, and if they are to apply for permits in the future, they'll know what areas on the property are regulated and what ones are not. So that way they can plan ahead if they have plans for a detached garage or something of that nature.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Go ahead, Mary Catherine.
It's a question about the retained piece of property. What are there restrictions on the future use of that property?
The property permits for residential and agricultural type uses on it. It's already developed with a single detached dwelling. The bylaw would lay out the permissions for what is allowed. Like if they wanted to build a secondary dwelling unit, there's permissions for that. If they were looking to add uses that aren't listed in the bylaw, they would have to speak to us about a potential application.
Do you have a follow-up, Mary Catherine?
Sorry, I don't think I was quite clear. Okay, would they be able to take further severances?
No, the number of lots that are permitted are addressed in the official plan. So for the rural designation, depending on the lot size that was in existence as of 1990, if they're over 36 hectares at that point, they could have 3 lots created. If they were under 36 hectares, they're only permitted to have 2. On this property, there had been a previous severance to the east of where the proposed lots are. So this lot had previously been taken from those lands.
Pre-1990 then?
It was, I think, after 1990.
Sure
But when you add all the lands together, it was over the 36 hectares.
Mary Catherine, please speak into the mic so everybody can hear what your question was. Thank you. Any other questions? I have one. I'm just wondering about the Ingham Road. Is that where an additional entranceway could be permitted in the future?
In terms of driveways?
Yes.
Yes, so Public Works had looked at the proposed lot locations to determine that they had no concerns with potential entrances there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Clintworth, would you like to come to if you have any questions or comments, please come to the front, and there's a microphone there for you.
I don't really have any questions or comments. We got the planner application, and we understood.
Can you pick up the microphone, please?
How's that? Is that better?
Oh, perfect.
I don't have any questions or comments. We did meet with the planner a couple of times during the process of putting the application forward, and I think we had a number of questions then, which were very well answered. So I think other than that, I think we're just ready to move forward. Any questions for me?
I don't think there is.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Members of the public, do you have any questions or comments regarding this application? Seeing none, I'll read the resolution. That applicants AH082024 and AH092024 by Jill and Mark Clintworth to sever 2 parcels of land for the creation of 2 vacant rural residential lots at 138 Ingham Road in parts of Lot 9, Concession 4, geographically in the Township of Haldimand, and that should be actually Township of Alnwick, is hereby approved subject to the following conditions. That an archaeological site assessment be prepared by a qualified professional an archaeologist and submitted for review. The applicant must provide acknowledgement of acceptance of the assessment from the Ministry of Citizenship and Multiculturalism. That a registered survey for the several parcels be submitted to the township. In addition, that the registered survey, a geo-referenced DWG file of the survey be provided in a format satisfactory to the township and Northumberland County. That a draft transfer for the severed parcels be submitted to the township. That the tax account for the subject property be paid up to date. That a zoning bylaw amendment be in effect for the several parcels pursuant to the Planning Act. That the $12,796.34 development charge for each severed lot be paid to the Township of Allen Haldeman, and that the $1,500 cash in lieu of parkland fee for each severed lot be paid to the Township of Allen Haldeman. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councilor Ainsworth, second by Deputy Mayor Stover. Are there any questions or comments from council? Seeing none. All in favor? That motion is carried. Thank you, Mr. Clintworth. The next one that we have is for application PLN 2024-60. And the applicants are Andrus and Micus and Marie Sermon Lazovka. Hope that's close. Are there anybody representing this couple today? Seeing none, we'll proceed then along. Go ahead.
Okay.
Tracy.
So the
please.
purpose of application AH 1024 is to adjust the lot lines of severed parcel of land. The lot is proposed to increase in width to the south of the property and decrease in depth to the west. The lot was originally approved on June 21st, 2022 through application A13 2022. The proposed lot has a frontage of 70 meters and a depth of 45 meters, which is irregular, and a ultimate lot area of 0.4 hectares. The subject property is located on the west side of Shelter Valley Road in the southeast quadrant of the municipality. There's a single detached dwelling and accessory buildings on the site. Shelter Valley Creek runs along the east side of Shelter Valley Road. There are unevaluated wetland features located on the southeastern adjacent lands. Surrounding land uses include a combination of rural residential development along Shelter Valley Road, rural forested lands, and agricultural parcels to the west of the subject property. A drumlin with significant change in topography bisects the property, and a dwelling was recently constructed on the eastern side of the drumlin. The slope portion of the property is heavily forested on the west side of the drumlin, and the northwest corner has been cleared and, based on air photography, appears to be under active agricultural cultivation. There's large tracts of cultivated agricultural lands located west and southwest of the property. There's a small horse barn identified at 2183 Shelter Valley Road. A minimum distance separation calculation was performed for the previous application on the horse barn, indicating an 81 meter setback is required. The proposed severed lot will be more than 225 meters once the lot lines are adjusted, which is well outside of the 81 meter setback requirement. The proposal does conform with the provincial policy statement, the growth plan, the Northumberland County's plan, and the Township of Alnwick Haldeman's official plan. The lot was originally created through application A13 2022 and was rezoned to rural residential through an amending bylaw through application Z17 2022. The balance of the subject property is zoned rural in the Township of Alnwick Haldeman's official plan. The proposed 0.4 hectare severed lot is smaller than the minimum lot size for the rural zone. And the lands that hadn't already been zoned rural residential will need to be zoned as such to permit the single detached dwelling on the adjusted lot. The lands to be removed from the residential lot should be rezoned back to rural. The application was circulated to the departments and agencies for comments. Public Works indicated that they have no concern with the proposal and will require an entrance permit at time of building permit. Lower Trent Conservation Authority had no objection to the approval of the application, and we will provide detailed comments so that they are aware of their regulations as they apply to the retained lands. Northumberland County have no objection with the proposed lot line adjustment. They advise that the county and applicable provincial land use policies allow for lot boundary adjustments within the rural areas. The county's waste management division noted that residential waste set out requirements would remain the same, one for each parcel. The county inspection services divisions had no concerns with the proposal. The application was circulated to all registered property owners within 60 meters, and a sign was posted on September the 4th. No public comments had been received to date. The proposed severed lot is located in a rural part of the municipality on Shelter Valley Road, which is a year-round municipally maintained road. There are no natural heritage or hazard features on the proposed severed lot. An MDS calculation was prepared, and the proposal does comply with that required setback. A rezoning will be required to address the lot area. It is also recommended that a certificate of cancellation for consent AH 13-2020 be required. This will ensure the portions of the lot subject to the lot line adjustment will merge correctly with the retained and severed lands. As noted, the proposal is consistent with the provincial policy statement. It generally complies with the growth plan for the Greater Golden Horseshoe and maintains the intent of the county and Alma Calderman official plans. And we are recommending approval of the application with typical standard conditions in addition to the requirement for a zoning bylaw amendment and a certificate of cancellation for application AH 13-2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Planner, Madam Senior Planner. Does any of the committee members have questions or comments for the planner? Seeing none, I think we've already asked, but I don't believe there's anybody representing the applicants. Are there any questions from other members of the public regarding this application? Seeing none, I'll read the resolution. That application AH 10-2024 by Andres Michaels and Maria Simazowski to adjust the lot lines of severed parcel for the creation of a vacant rural residential lot at 2182 Shelter Valley Road in part lots of 14 and 15, concession 2, geographically in the township of Haldeman, is hereby approved subject to the following conditions: that a registered survey for the severed parcels be submitted to the township. In addition to the registered survey, a geo-reference DWG file of the survey be provided in a format satisfactory to the township and Northumberland County. That a draft transfer for the severed parcel be submitted to the township. That the tax account for the subject property be paid up to date. That a zoning bylaw amendment be in effect for the severed parcel pursuant to the Planning Act. And finally, that a certificate of cancellation be issued to cancel consent application AH 132022. Committee members, could I get a mover and a second? Moved by committee member Stover and seconded by committee member Ainsworth. Any discussion? All in favor? That motion's carried. Okay, we'll move on to application PLN 2024-61 This is an application for consent for Suncrest Farms. AH 11-2024 that was issued 24 September of 2024. Madam, please go ahead.
Thank you. The purpose of application AH 11-2024 is to create a new rural lot with an existing house and barns that are surplus to an existing farm. The lot addition will sever approximately 5.49 hectares from the recipient property. The proposed frontage is 263 meters with a depth of 193 meters and a lot area of 5.49 hectares. The subject property is located on the north side of County Road 24, just west of Lewis Road. There are agricultural lands surrounding the subject property and smaller residential lots to the north, east, and west. There is an unevaluated wetland feature in the southwest portion of the subject lands. Tributaries of Percy Creek travel through the subject lands within the southern portion of the property. There are natural heritage and hydrological features on the property. Since no new development is proposed on the severed lands at the time of the proposal, it does not require further study in terms of the natural heritage policies contained in the provincial policy, the county's official plan, and the township's official plan, as well as the growth plan for the Greater Golden Horseshoe. If proposed residential uses are proposed in the future on the retained lands, MDS setbacks will be confirmed at the time of consent and/or building permit applications. MDS isn't required for the existing house and livestock facilities on the site. There is a tributary of Percy Creek on the property, and related hazards are being conveyed to the existing development. There is sufficient space outside of those hazard lands on the retained lands and severed parcel to be able to develop additional buildings if required. The subject property is currently zoned rural with environmentally sensitive area on Schedule A of the Township Zoning Bylaw 19/2019. The proposed severed parcel is zoned rural, which permits a wide range of uses, including single detached dwelling, agricultural, and farm uses, bed and breakfast establishments, along with many other uses. The minimum lot area is 5 hectares. The application complies with those regulations. The application was circulated to departments and agencies. The Public Works Department had advised that they have no concerns with the proposal. Lower Trent Conservation reviewed the application and advised that they would have no objection to the approval of the application. Any future development on the severed lands will require review by Lower Trent and may require technical studies should they be proposed in proximity to the natural heritage or hazard features. Detailed comments will be provided to the applicant so they are aware of the location of the regulated areas on site and permitting requirements of Lower Trent Conservation. Northumberland County reviewed the application and have no objections to the proposal, provided the following conditions are satisfied. That the owner applicant submit a plan at their expense to the satisfaction of Northumberland County, illustrating a minimum road widening road width of 17 meters from the center line of County Road 24 along the frontage of the subject property. And that the owner applicant deeds the road widening to the county at their expense and free of and clear of any encumbrances. Notice of the application was circulated to all registered property owners within 60 meters, and a sign was posted on September the 4th. There's a typo in the report indicating it was June. The proposed severed lot is located in a rural part of the municipality on County Road 24, a year-round municipally maintained road. There are natural heritage and natural hazard features on the proposed severed lot. Impacts are not expected as no new development is proposed. The proposed severed and retained lots comply with the regulations contained in zoning bylaw 19/2019. The application is consistent with the provincial policy statement, the growth plan, and maintains the intent of the Northumberland County and Township of Alma-Calderman official plans. We are recommending approval of the proposal, subject to standard conditions and to meet the requirements of Northumberland County for potential road widening to maintain a 17-meter width from the center line of County Road 24. And that if a road widening is required, that it be deeded to the county. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Webster. Council, committee members, do you have any questions or comments for Tracy? Seeing none, are there any representatives from Suncrest Farms here today? Would you like to come forward and make questions or comments?
I don't have any questions, but I'd just like to thank you all for your time. And Tracy, you were absolutely a pleasure to work with.
Thank you.
We know that. But it's great to hear. Does any member of council have any questions or comments? Seeing none, thank you very much for your attendance. I'll read the resolution. That application AH 2024 by Suncrest Farms Incorporated to sever a parcel of land for the creation of a new rural lot with existing house and barn surplus to the existing farm in concession 3, part of lot 19, geographically in the township of Allenwick, is approved subject to the following conditions. That a registered survey for this severed parcel be submitted to the township. In addition to the registered survey, a georeference PWG file of the survey be provided in a format satisfactory to the township in Northumberland County. That a draft transfer for the severed parcel be submitted to the township. That the tax account for the subject property be paid up to the date. That the owner applicant submit a plan at their expense to the satisfaction of the County of Northumberland, which illustrates a minimum road widening of 17 meters from the center line of County Road 24 along the frontage of the subject property, and that the owner applicant deeds a road widening to the County of Northumberland at their expense, and that is free and clear of any encumbrances. Can I get a mover and a second? Moved by committee member Stover and seconded by committee member Booth. Any questions? All in favor? Motion is carried. Thank you very much for attending. Move on to the next one. This application is numbered PL 2024-62. An application for consent being made by Colin and Ruth Watson. This is on the 24th of September 2024. Madam, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. The purpose of application AH 12/2024 is to sever a 0.6 hectare parcel of land for the creation of a vacant rural residential lot. A 6.9 hectare lot will be retained and will need to merge with a 7.97 hectare lot that was created through application AH 06/2022. The proposed frontage of the lot is 45.7 meters and the lot area is 0.61 hectares. The subject property is located on the west side of Station Road in the southeast area of the township of Grafton, south of Grafton. There are no buildings on the largely cleared rural property, which appears to be a hayfield. A previously severed rural residential lot is located directly above the Station Road frontage. AH 2022. The subject property has approximately 21 meters of Lake Ontario shoreline in its southwest corner. Surrounding land uses are predominantly rural residential subdivision development to the south and west. The North Shore Road subdivision is located immediately south of the subject property. There are approximately 31 rural residential lots located on the north and south side of North Shore Road. The Newawton subdivision is located immediately west of the subject property. A large agricultural property is located immediately east of the subject property and is developed with a number of farm buildings, including livestock barns. Land to the immediate north is a large forested property. A minimum distance separation calculation had been conducted for the previous application AH06-2024, which resulted in a MDS setback requirement of 319 meters. The proposed severed lot is further than the lot the MDS was calculated for, and there are sufficient room on the proposed severed lot to meet those setback requirements. The proposal does conform with the provincial policy statement, the growth plan for the Greater Golden Horseshoe, the Township of Almac-Haldeman's official plan, and the county's official plan. Under the zoning bylaw, the property is zoned rural and environmental protection. The EP zone is limited to the Lake Ontario shoreline, while the remainder of the property, including the proposed severed lot, is zoned rural. The rural zone permits a wide range of uses, including single detached dwellings, agricultural or farm uses, bed and breakfast establishment, and many other uses. The minimum lot size in that zone is 5 hectares, and the lot frontage is 60 meters. I believe there's a typo indicating it's 45. The proposed severed lot will be required to be rezoned to rural residential to address the lot area and frontage proposed. The application was circulated to departments and agencies. The Public Works Department indicated they have no concerns with the proposal and will require an entrance permit at time of permit application. Lower Trent Conservation have no objections to the approval and had asked for detailed comments to be provided to the applicant to inform them of the regulatory requirements on their retained lands. Northumberland County have no objection with the proposed severance. They advise that the proposal to create a vacant lot for future residential purpose conforms, and that the retained parcel will continue to support cash crops. County and applicable provincial land use policies allow for limited lot creation in designated rural areas. Where livestock and or anaerobic digester facilities are within 750 meters from the proposed lot, minimum distance separation calculation shall be performed. County's inspection services have no concerns with the proposal. The proposed lot is appropriately sized for an on-site sewage system to service future dwelling. A sewage system permit will be required for any new dwelling as part of the building permit process. Alderville First Nation advised that the proposal will require an archaeological assessment. The proposed lot is within proximity of major water bodies and registered archaeological sites. Alderville First Nation expects to be engaged on the archaeological assessment. At Enbridge Gas, indicated that it's the responsibility of the applicant to verify the existing gas servicing does not encroach on one or more of the property when subdividing or severing the existing land parcel. Any service relocation required due to a severance would be at the cost of the property owner, and they will provide the contact for the applicant to address any encroachments. The application was circulated to all registered property owners within 60 meters of the subject property, and a sign was posted on September the 4th. No public comments have been received to date. The proposed severed lot is located in a rural part of the municipality with frontage on Station Road, which is a year-round municipally maintained road. A rezoning to rural residential will be required to address the lot area and frontage. A certificate of cancellation is required for the lot created through application AH06-2022 in order to comply with the policies of the Township of Almut-Calderman official plan. Due to the lot area, only 2 lots are permitted to be created from that parcel. One was previously created since 1990, in addition to the lot created in 2022. So this would be the 3rd lot. So the previous lot will need to be canceled. We are proposing to recommend approval of the application, subject to typical standard conditions, in addition to the requirements for an archaeological assessment, a rezoning, and the certificate of cancellation for application AH06-2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Do any committee members have a question for our planner or comment? Seeing none, Ruth, do you want to come forward? And do you have any questions or comments that you'd like to present to council?
I just want to say thank you for Tracy too. She helped me a lot. And I was surprised.
Speak up a little bit.
Oh, I was surprised about the archaeological assessment though. Is that kind of standard when you're within so many miles of a lake?
You want to answer that, Tracy?
Sure. So whenever there's a proposal within 300 meters of water bodies, that is a typical requirement. There had been some changes in the staffing at Alderville, and they're doing a very thorough review of applications since I believe May of last year. So that is being required consistently.
Good. Okay.
Thank you.
I think that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Watson. Okay, I'll read the resolution. That application AH12, members of the public, do you have any questions or comments regarding this application? Seeing none. That application AH12-2024 by Colin and Ruth Watson to sever a parcel of land for the creation of a vacant rural residential lot in part of Lot 23, Concession B, geographically in Township of Haldeman, is hereby approved subject to the following conditions. That an archaeological site assessment be prepared by a qualified professional and submitted for review. The applicant must provide acknowledgement of acceptance of the assessment from the Minister of Citizenship and Multiculturalism. That a registered survey for the several parcel be submitted to the township. In addition to the registered survey, a geo-reference DWG file of the survey be provided in a format satisfactory to the township and Northumberland County. That a draft transfer for the severed parcel be submitted to the township. That the tax account for the subject property be paid up to date. That a zoning bylaw amendment be in effect for the severed parcels pursuant to the Planning Act. And that a certificate of cancellation be issued to cancel consent application AH06-2022. Could I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Stover, seconded by Booth. Any further questions or comments? All in favor? The motion's carried. Next, we're going on to minor variances. We have one application for minor variance. It is PLN 2024-58, minor variance application to the Township of Almut-Calderman on behalf of Mark Hogg, MV 032024 on September 24th, 2024. Tracy, please go ahead.
Thank you. On February 24th, 2022, the Land Division Committee of Adjustment approved application AH01-2022 for the creation of a rural lot, which resulted in the subject property. The lot was approved on the assumption that frontage would be provided through the extension of Drope Road by 60 meters from County Road 24. It was thought that Drope Road would provide both frontage and access to the severed lot. A condition of approval required the dedication of a 0.3 meter reserve to the County of Northumberland along County Road 24 to restrict access based on sightline concerns. The application was initially submitted to permit the construction of a single detached dwelling on a lot without frontage on an improved public street. That was reviewed by the Land Division Committee of Adjustment on July the 23rd, 2024. The application was deferred as discussion centered around whether Northumberland County could accept a driveway entrance at what was thought to be the Drope Road allowance as an alternative. Northumberland County staff have since confirmed that a driveway entrance at the old Drope Road allowance is acceptable. This application has been revised to address lot frontage. The 9.4 hectare subject property is located on the north side of County Road 24 in the northeast area of the township. Most of the property has been cleared and had been actively farmed. Approximately 3 hectares in the north end of the property remains forested. There is a single detached dwelling and livestock barns that house approximately 50 beef cattle on the lands to the east of the subject lands that this lot was severed from. Surrounding land uses are almost exclusively large agricultural properties, with the exception of the property immediately across the road from the subject property. The dwelling at 12699 County Road 24 was severed from a 20 hectare agricultural property and rezoned rural residential in 2022, which means the barn on this property can only be used as a hobby farm, accommodating a maximum of 2 livestock units. Livestock barns were identified at 12572 County Road 24, 12462 County Road 24, 396 Glenrun Road, and 12838 County Road 24, and most of the surrounding lands are under active agricultural cultivation. The proposal is consistent with the provincial policy statement. The minimum distance separation requirements were reviewed through the severance application, and minimum distance separation calculations were performed at that time. The application is in conformity with the growth plan for the Greater Golden Horseshoe and meets the intent of the Northumberland County and the Township of Alnwick official plan. The Planning Act and the Township of Alnwick official plan sets out 4 tests for evaluating minor variance applications. The 4 tests are that the variance must be minor, the variance must be desirable for the appropriate development or use of the land, the variance must maintain the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw, and the variance must maintain the general intent and purpose of the official plan. The zoning bylaw zones the property rural. The proposed variance seeks relief from section 5.2.2 of zoning bylaw 19/2019, which requires a minimum lot frontage of 60 meters, which is 196.85 feet, and the lot frontage is measured along the front lot line, which is separated the lot from the street line. Northumberland County is agreeable to providing an access on County Road 24. Drope Road does not require construction to provide frontage for the lot, provided that the Drope Road is not required. There is frontage for the lot on County Road 24. Due to the location of the 0.3 meter reserve, the amount of frontage available along County Road 24 is 6.10 meters. The front lot line does not include the full width of the lot, as it is blocked by the 0.3 meter reserve. That was required to restrict access along the balance of County Road 24 for safety reasons related to the sight lines. When combining the length of the 0.3 meter reserve with the remaining frontage, the lot has a width of 162.1 meters. In accordance with section 4.27.4B of zoning bylaw 19/2019, a driveway must be at least 3 meters in width. There is adequate frontage to accommodate that requirement. The application was initially circulated to agencies and departments for comments. An additional follow-up on the revised application was conducted with Northumberland County and the Almut-Calderman Public Works Department. Public Works indicated that they had no concerns. They'll conduct a site visit to determine if signage needs to be removed from what was thought to be Drope Road. The Northumberland County Works Department provided the following. The county is of the understanding that there has been discussions back and forth between the owners and the township regarding access to the lot. As the consent application has been finalized for application AH01 2022, the parcel is now considered a lot of record. The county looks to find the safest point for an entrance and/or roadway, if applicable, to gain access to the parcel of land. Northumberland County would support an entrance or a future municipal road at the location of the old road allowance referred to as Drope Road. Northumberland County Public Works Department will require an entrance permit application from the owner for the future entrance. Northumberland County Road Operations staff will perform the work from the edge of the road to the property line and will build the associated cost back to the owner. Prior to the construction of the parcel, on the parcel, a setback permit application is required from the owner. The minimum setback distance required from the center line of County Road to the start of any temporary or permanent structures is 30 meters. There were no comments received from the balance of the agencies. Lower Trent had indicated they had no concern with the proposal, and Alderville First Nation had asked for clarification on the location of Drope Road and had not provided any additional comments since. Notice of the application was circulated to all registered owners within 60 meters of the subject property, and a sign was posted on September the 4th. No public comments have been received on the proposal to date. The variance is required to permit the construction of a single detached dwelling on a lot with reduced frontage. In reviewing the application, the 4 tests for a minor variance have been considered, and it has been determined that the variance is minor. Although the reduction from 60 to 6.10 may appear large, the full width of the lot exceeds 162 meters, providing more than enough space to develop a single detached dwelling. The variance is desirable and appropriate for the land. The variance will facilitate the construction of a single detached dwelling on a lot previously approved by the Land Division Committee. The general intent of the township's official plan has been maintained. The policies permit for the proposed residential use, provided it has frontage on an improved public street. The lot does have frontage on County Road 24. The general intent of the Township of Almut-Calderman zoning bylaw 19/2019 is maintained. The use is permitted in the rural zone. The reduction in frontage is a result of a 0.3 meter reserve applied to the lot to ensure safe access to the property. The overall width of the lot exceeds the required frontage. The proposed variance maintains the intent of the official plan, the Northumberland County's official plan, the Almut-Calderman's zoning bylaw, and is consistent with the provincial policy and complies with the growth plan. We are recommending approval for a reduction in the lot frontage from 60 meters to 6.10 meters. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Does any members of the committee have any questions for the planner? Go ahead, Mary Catherine.
And it may be to our secretary, in fact. So this MV03 2024 that is in front of us, that completely replaces what was in front of us in July?
That's correct. We revised the application to deal with lot frontage instead of the section that would have prevented construction on a lot on an unmaintained road, because the county has agreed to accept a driveway instead of requiring a road to be constructed.
That answer your question?
Yeah, I just wanted to double check.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Just one clarification, the Trout Road, that is a closed road allowance, but I thought this owner owned part of Trout Road.
Right, so the road allowance isn't within the ownership of the township. I'm not sure the history, if it had been at one point and then maybe sold, it seems like that's something that happens in this township. So the width of the road allowance is owned, it's divided up the middle, so the Hogs own the east half and their neighbor owns the west half. So it's not a formal road allowance. It's privately owned property, which in this case provides the 6.10 meters of frontage in this case.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else have any questions for the planner? Mr. Hogg, I see you're here today. If you want to come forward and if you have any questions or comments.
Hi, and thank you for your time. I do not have any questions at this point. I mean, things seem pretty clear. Tracy's done an excellent job of explaining what the process is now, so I thank you for that. And I guess that's just where I stand. Everything seems to be looking okay. We can just go from there.
Thank you. Any questions from council? Comments? Well, before we vote, I'll just make the comment that I'm glad that it looks like we're going to get resolution for this particular thing. And I'll thank Tracy. I'll thank you for being persistent as well and going and approaching the county, which I believe you did. And it's good
Yeah,
to see
through
we
email
work together.
verification and Tracy, we worked it out, I guess.
Yeah, it's good to see we get able to work out something like this. Thank you.
Thank
Members
you.
of the public, any questions or comments? Seeing none? I'll read the motion. Yeah, you can go back. Mark, thank you. It is recommended that the Land Division Committee, Committee of Adjustment of the Corporation of the Township of Elmwood-Culdeman enact as follows. That revised application MB 032024 by the Township of Elmwood-Culdeman on behalf of Mark Hogg for a property legally described as Part Lot 23, Concession 3, Part 1 on 39R 14576 in the Township of Elmwood, now in the Township of Elmwood-Culdeman, be approved to permit a reduced lot frontage from 60 meters to 6.1 meters. Could I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Booth, seconded by Ainsworth. Any discussion? All in favor? That motion is carried. Thank you. Okay, we're going to motion to adjourn. It is recommended the Council of Elmwood-Culdeman, the Committee of Adjustment, pardon me, of Elmwood, Committee of Adjustment, Land Division Committee of the Corporation of the Township of Elmwood-Culdeman act as follows. That the Committee of Adjustment Land Division Committee meeting held on September 24th, 2024 be adjourned at 10:29 p.m. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Okay, Ian, thank you. Moved by Stover, seconded by Ainsworth. All in favor? Motion is carried. Okay, we're going to reconvene to our municipal planning / regular council meeting. And to do that, we have to have a recommendation that the council of the Township of Elmwood-Culdeman, being a land division committee of adjustment, reconvene to municipal planning regular council meeting on September 24, 2024 at, that's not the same one, is it? Okay. 9:31 a.m. 10:31 a.m. We gotta get a better clock. And we have a planning department report, and it's for regarding zoning bylaw addendum amendment application, and it's for Marion Trumbull Estates, PLN 2024-63, zoning bylaw amendment application for Marion Trumbull Estates on the 24th of September, 2024.
Excuse me, Mayor Lover, I think we probably needed someone to move and second and then all in favor for the previous motion.
Can I get a mover and a second for that? Moved by Deputy Mayor Stover, seconded by Councillor O'Neill. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion's carried. Who's going to lead us through that? You're going to lead us?
Sure, do you have to go through that?
Stephen,
Introduction
yeah.
again, or is it okay to move on? Okay. Okay, thank you. Application 12-2023 was approved by council on November 28th, 2023. A holding symbol was applied to the zoning to ensure a permit was issued by Lower Trent Conservation for the placement of fill, and conditions relating to the permit have been satisfied. Lower Trent Conservation advised that LTC permit has been issued to fill the property to create a suitable building envelope outside of the floodplain. A survey was provided to demonstrate that the conditions of the permit have been met. The fee schedule does not indicate a fee in the amount, or does indicate a fee in the amount of $500 for the removal of a holding symbol. It's proposed that the fee be clarified in an upcoming update to only be required where it's related to a rezoning application that has not been processed, or where a technical review by staff is required. The fee collected through application Z12-2023 is sufficient to process the removal of the holding symbol. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Any questions or comments from members of council? Seeing none, resolution reads that a bylaw be brought forward for approval to remove the holding zone symbol as the condition requirement by bylaw 113-2023, and the application is Z12-2023. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Deputy Mayor Stover, seconded by Councillor Booth. Are there any further questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion is carried. Next, we have bylaws, and it's bylaw number 66-2024 to amend the zoning bylaw to remove a holding symbol Z12-2023 for the Timble Estate. That bylaw number 66-2024 being a bylaw to amend bylaw 19-2019, Township's comprehensive zoning bylaw, to remove a holding symbol, be given a first, second, and third reading and pass this 24th day of September 2024. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Ainsworth, seconded by Councillor Booth. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion is carried. And next we have confirming bylaw, bylaw number 67-2024, being a bylaw to confirm the special council's. Is that the correct special council? Pardon me? Okay. It is correct.
No.
Okay. Okay, resolution is fine, okay. So I'll read the bylaw. The bylaw number 67-2024, being a bylaw to adopt the proceedings of the municipal planning / regular council meeting held on the 24th day of September 2024, and to authorize its execution to be given a first, second, and third reading and finally pass this 24th day of September 2024. Mover and seconder. Moved by Councillor Ainsworth, seconded by Councillor Booth. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion is carried. Motion to adjourn at the municipal planning / regular council meeting held on September 24th, 2024. Be adjourned at 10:35 a.m. Will you move in a second? Moved by Councillor Booth, second by Councillor O'Neill. All in favor? Motion is carried. Thank you, everyone. Have a safe day.